Randy, I think when you look at most successful teams in the NHL, they have very strong leadership groups. A lot of people would argue that your team did not have a great leadership group. Is that something that needs to be addressed in the offseason?
Again, I think that there's going to be a lot of investigating and a lot of assessing at different levels, and leadership will be one of them. And through the course of the season, we have leadership meetings with a group of players, and that doesn't mean just the captains. We break our groups up and we converse with them on a regular basis. We try to do it along a 6 to 8 game schedule. So it's not really just one person that we ask questions of or expect to be leaders in their hockey club. But when you go through situations like this, there's going to be a lot of assessing and a lot of dissecting going and taking place.
Coach Carlyle, George Lagagenis from C24 News. Yesterday at the press conference with Mr. Shanahan and Nonis and Mr. Lywicki, the term culture shift, culture change came up a lot. That was one of my takeaways. What is the culture of the Toronto Maple Leafs as we stand here today, in your estimation?
Well, the one thing that we felt that we had taken steps to do was to change the culture of our group when we first got here, being in last year in the lockout season, that we'd taken steps that we would be a hockey club that would create an identity that would be hard to play against. And we never really created an identity for our hockey club this year. We didn't play to an identity. And that's what was disturbing, because we had been a competitive group in the year previous, and where obviously we felt that this group going forward was ready to take the next step. And a lot of people felt the same way, and it didn't materialize. We seem to be in constant change right from the first exhibition game. We get the suspension to Clarkson. We get into the season, then we lose Bolin, then we lose Bozak. And then, for the stretch that really was trying on us with having Nazem Kadri as our #1 center, Peter Holland and Trevor Smith, we felt that if we got ourselves through that to January and the possibility of Bolin coming back, that we'd be setting our sails off and qualifying, getting this our hockey club ready to qualify for the playoffs. And we got ourselves to January and we did okay. Then we come out of the Winter Classic, and I think we had a couple of flat games, and then we went 11-2 to get up to the break. So there was a lot of good things that were happening with some challenges put to our lineup. And when we went out west, again, that was, you guys were quoting it, there's the death march. Here we go. And you remember those things. Those are flashpoints. But we got through that, and we felt pretty good about ourselves coming and having the success. We won 2 out of 3, one in Anaheim and one in LA, which are tough buildings to win in. And then when we came back to Washington, it seemed like we lost our mojo.
Quick follow-up. So was it toughness or skill? Which was the biggest?
Well, I think that you got to have both. I think there was an identity that we want to be a hockey club. The Toronto Maple Leafs represent a hockey club that wants to be hard to play against. Now, being hard to play against in toughness has various ways to describe it. And we describe it as, yes, fisticuffs are one thing, but that's not what we represent. It's more about blocking shots, more about taking a check to make a play, more about being involved physically, be a hard team to play against, and play an up-tempo, strong forechecking game. And we've done that at times, but our overall application of that, we would say we've been inconsistent.
Coach, Kyle Hawking from AM 640. A lot was mentioned yesterday during Brendan's introduction, and you've mentioned it here as well, about identity. How do you address an identity problem with a team that lacks one?
Well, what you try to do is we spend a lot of time and effort on trying to create, sell, visualize what it needs to be a Toronto Maple Leaf. And that's a template that we ask our players to understand. This is our expectations. And for this year, we're not able to create that, as I stated earlier. And those are the things that you're going to scratch your head and bang your head against, well, why didn't it happen? Why didn't it happen? And that's what we're all asking ourselves, why didn't it happen? Because we had it in the previous shortened season, the lockout season. We were a hard team to play against. A lot of people talk about the series against Boston. We remember it as, we were down 3-1 to a Stanley Cup finalist and come back and made it a 7-game series. And sure, we weren't happy with what happened in Game 7 in the third period, but it took a lot for that group to reach back and be competitive against a strong hockey club, and we did those things. So it wasn't all doom and gloom, but we weren't able to put that same type of hockey club and apply it right from the beginning of this year.
And a quick follow-up, is that a change that needs to come from the coaching staff or to the roster?
Well, that's what the evaluation will bear out. There'll be people that'll make those decisions on if this coaching staff has done a capable job, and if the players and the personnel that we have here are worthy of applying themselves in that direction. That's what we're here.